Hi everyone, Carlisa here. Today I just wanted to do a very quick video on officer rank structure. And the information I'm going to tell you today actually applies to both the Army and the Air Force. Most of you know, if you've been watching my other videos, that I did Army ROTC and I commissioned as an Army officer, and I served in the Army for a total of 9 years before I decided to go Air Force, and I currently serve in the Air Force as an officer now. Fortunately, and this makes things very easy, the Army and the Air Force officer rank structures are almost identical. So, that's why this information will cover both the Army and the officer rank structures. And just quickly, I wanted to go over the 4 ways that you can become an officer. So one way is through the Army or Air Force ROTC program. And that, of course, is the program where while you're in college or perhaps grad school, you go through the Reserved Officer Training Corps. And once you finish with your training, which could be anywhere from 2 to 4 years long depending on when you join, you get commissioned as a second lieutenant. Another way you can come into the military as an officer is if you go to one of the military academies. So you might want to go to the Naval Academy in Annapolis, for instance, or you might want to go to the Army Military Academy at West Point. And of course, the Air Force has its own military academy as well, and the Marine Corps is meshed in with the Navy in Annapolis. So that's another way you can come in as an officer. Now, there's also another route you can take, and it's called Officer Candidate School. And these are individuals that enlisted in the military and decided that they want to become officers, so they go to Officer Candidate School. And another way that you won't hear many people talk about is through the direct commissioning process. And this is how a lot of the professional officers come through. And these are, people who went to law school, so they become a lawyer first, and then they take a direct commission. And a lot of times they will come in as, in the Army anyways, as a first lieutenant with a 1-year time and grade, or someone might graduate from medical school and take a direct commission and come in through that way. So again, there are 4 ways: ROTC, going to a military academy, and also do an OCS, and then the other way is by a direct appointment or direct commission. Now, I came in through Army ROTC, though I have friends who went to Officer Candidate School, and then of course I have friends who went to West Point, and I have friends who took the direct commissioning route as well. And I'm not really here to, advocate for one path over another, but I just want you guys to be aware that there are 4 different ways that you can become an officer in the military if that's what you're looking to do. And by the way, you don't have to go to West Point, for instance, if you want to, take that route. You can also go to a school like VMI, for instance, and graduate as an officer, or several other of the military institutions throughout the country. Now, let's talk about the actual ranks for a little bit. So, generally, you're going to start out as a second lieutenant, so that's the gold butter bar. And you're going to need to serve as a second lieutenant for no less than 18 months before you get promoted to first lieutenant, and that's the silver bar. And the time and grade requirement from first lieutenant to captain is generally 2 years. And then from captain to major is generally 3 years. And from major to lieutenant colonel is generally 3 years. And then from lieutenant colonel to full bird colonel is also generally 3 years, although these are people who are being, promoted what they call below the zone. It's certainly not uncommon to find someone who has served as a captain for no less than 4 years, just as it's not uncommon to find someone that served as a major for at least 4 years. But there are, basic time and grade requirements. So that's what I'm giving you today. But just know that for a lot of people, it takes a little bit longer to go than 3 years to go from, for instance, a captain to a major. And if we're talking about the reserve or the guard, certainly a lot of captains in the guard and or reserve will end up being a captain for 6 or 7 years before they promote to major. So it's also true that people tend to promote quicker through the active duty ranks than through the reserve or guard ranks. And I'm not going to get too into the weeds about that because this video is meant to just be an overview. But certainly those of you that are officers in the Army or Air Force, feel free to drop comments down below to help those out that are watching this video because they're interested in becoming officers. I'm sure everyone would appreciate hearing your input. And of course, once you go to colonel, the next step is general. And then of course you can be a brigadier general, a major general, a lieutenant general, which is the 3-star general. Major general is a 2-star, brigadier general is a 1-star. And being a 4-star or a 5-star general, of course, would be extremely rare. And we only have 5-star generals during times of declared war. So we haven't had a 5-star general in a very long time, and it's unlikely that we will have one of those in the near future. In any event, that is the basic officer rank structure for the Army and the Air Force. And so I hope that you guys have found this information useful. And if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a comment. I'm just here to give you guys information based on my experience in the military. I've been in 17 years now, and I hope that these videos help you. You can help me by subscribing and liking. And I definitely intend to post videos at least every Wednesday, sometimes more. But in any event, feel free to ask any questions you might have. I've been around in the military for a long time, so surely if you have a question, I can answer it. And if not, I probably know someone that can answer it for you. So again, thanks guys for coming to my channel. Hope this helped, and I will see you guys next time.